on the grass just from tearing it up?
Not really nervous about tearing it up. The more nervous that it would crank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a show car.
Yeah. You just never know with those show cars. I guess I'm nervous today that might not crank, but they've been better. We had one that was giving us a little trouble. We ended up having to push it out there one year, and that was. I told them that can't never happen again. So I expect them to make sure that thing runs. But it's I don't really worry about tearing the grass up, especially with the weather. We've got pretty good weather.
Last year it was really muddy and
Yeah,
sloppy, remember?
yeah. I was concerned coming down the hill at my hydroplane, but on that concrete.
People would love that, though.
I don't know if it hits somebody.
Well, yeah, okay, there's that.
We'll talk about being a part of this event each year. I know you've done it before. What's it like?
Yeah, it's real simple. It's real easy for me. I just love to come support TaxSlayer. They get a real big kick out of being involved in the bowl and supporting the bowl. They do a great job of promoting it and making the bowl better. And I always see them in the racing environment, and we've been partners and friends at Junior Motorsports for a while on the racing side. So it's cool to kind of come here and see them in this environment and understand how they market and activate. And try to get some ideas on how to improve our race team relationship and do a better job of marketing and activating there. So you get some good ideas when you kind of cross promote.
Gamecocks aside, do you watch any bowls?
I certainly. I got a store in Tallahassee, the Chevy store down there. So we sort of pull for Florida State a little bit, but I also been an Oregon fan for years. Way back when Joey Harrington was their quarterback, I just thought they had cool uniforms and their field was cool, and they've been like my second, third team ever since. But so that was hard to figure out who you wanted to win last night between the two, but Oregon settled that pretty easily. But I hope that they'll win it all. I think that they got a lot of playmakers and certainly can put the points on the board.
What do you think about the two teams, started by Tennessee and Iowa in the bowl?
I don't know much about Iowa. Tennessee, I think is favored slightly. So, and I think being their closer proximity to where I live, they'll be probably the team that I'd pull for.
Do you pull for the SEC when South Carolina's not playing? Like pull for Alabama yesterday?
Not really. Yeah. I'm not. I like to see the SEC do well because it helps out recruiting South Carolina, but. Mike Davis is such an Alabama fan that it makes it very difficult to pull for Alabama.
Have you met Butcher Jones before? Have you crossed paths with him at all? What do you think about the game that they have up at Bristol Motor Speedway? Tennessee and Virginia Tech are going to play a couple of years. What's that going to be like?
I don't know. I was really, concerned with just the infrastructure of the track itself, being able to move that big scoring stand. Maybe they just need to move it for good, but because it's just sort of in the way. But I guess if they can put a good field down that don't blow anybody's knees out, it's probably going to be a great place to see a game. I mean, it's very similar to as far as a football stadium, the seating. I think the only concern for me would be is how good are the seats and how well. Is the fans' view of the action on the field.
How much do you think football fans and racing fans overlap and share love for both sports?
I think probably a lot. Of all the stick and ball sports, I see, I guess, the NFL is the closest relation, just due to due to the energy of the sport and the high impact, hard hitting action in NFL is kind of similar to cars racing down the straightaway at 3 wide at Talladega. Baseball is a different pace than both football and racing. So I think of all the stick and ball sports, the NFL and football in general is probably the closest relation, but I don't know. There's plus there's such a wide pool of fans in both sports that certainly they would have a lot of overlap.
Was it a lot easier to get up on January 2nd and come here than
Yes.
it was on
Hell
January
yes.
1st?
Well, basically, we had been throwing these New Year's Eve parties for a couple years, me and Amy, for all our friends back home. But we sort of rerouted the party to the 30th, so that we would be sharp and not hungover when we come over here to the bowl game. Because I like to, when I go into a situation where I need to have my head on straight, I don't like to be hungover doing it. But yeah, it was pretty fun to be able to go out on New Year's this year. We went to Whiskey River down in Charlotte and saved ourselves a little money instead of throwing our own party and having to clean it up too. But that place was busy and we had fun at Whiskey River.